Yo, what is up guys, it's me Zach Lee. Welcome back to the Zach Lee Show, the place where I keep you guys up to date with every single thing that's going on in the NBA on a daily basis. News, updates, highlights, discussions, anything and everything NBA related, right here in one video. As always, you guys are the real MVPs for coming back each and every single day. Can't thank you enough. But now let's just take a look at everything that is going on in the NBA. But first, a quick word about this video sponsor, athleticcases.com. Basketball, baseball, football, or even soccer, no matter what the sport, you can now rock your favorite player on the back of your phone. Use the promo code ZachLee for 10% off your order. Link is in the description box below. Now with that out the way though, on to the video. Let's go. Markelle Fultz is about to be amazing. Why am I so excited for this though? I'm not even a Philadelphia 76ers fan. I guess something about young talent in the NBA just gets me hyped for the future. It gets me extremely hyped. So of course we all know that Markelle Fultz played in his first game in a very long time yesterday. In my mind, this was his first actual NBA game ever. I don't count what he did at the beginning of the season when he was playing because he wasn't really playing because of his injury or whatever it was that was bothering him with his shoulder. And from the very second when the fans at the Wells Fargo Center welcomed him into the game, it was amazing. Man got a standing ovation from everybody in the arena.
And so Markelle Fultz on the floor, and they rise at Wells Fargo Center.
Which he said he thought after the game was for Nick Foles.
Speaking of support, how did it feel to get the ovation you received from the crowd tonight?
It was kind of cool. I mean, at first I thought they were saying Nick Foles, and I was like, and I realized it, and it was pretty dope though. But like I said, these fans are great, and I love them, so it's good.
Fultz. Yeah, I can see where the confusion might have been, but at the same time, why on earth would they be chanting Nick Foles? But back to what I was saying though, Markelle Fultz is about to be amazing. Shoot, drive, dribble, pass. Guy gave us glimpses of everything he could do yesterday. 10 points and 8 assists in only 14 minutes on the court. Sure, he was 4 of 13 from the field, but come on, how can anyone hold that against him? He's a rookie coming off one of the weirdest injuries that I personally have ever seen. Hasn't played in months. This was a much better game for him than I think most people expected him to have. However, there was that first shot that he put up.
Move and getting it his way was the veteran Devin Harris, but he has the presence of mind to stop, find an open guy. Fultz.
It was an air ball, and at the time it was a little discouraging to see, but I'm sure it was just nerves. And after the game, he said that it was just nerves and excitement.
It was a little bit of excitement and a little bit of just like, I gotta help the team. Like, I don't want to let the team down. So I mean, once I stepped on the floor, it felt great just to be back out there with my brothers and have fun.
I like how he was talking about the team there too, because let's talk about the team as a whole. Let's talk about this Philadelphia 76ers team plus Markelle Fultz. I said in my video yesterday that I have this team as the wild card in the Eastern Conference because I feel like they can go up against anyone. There isn't a team that they can be matched up against and I say, yep, they ain't got a single chance. No, they have a chance to beat everyone. The only thing stopping them from being the favorites in series is the fact that they lack experience. Their two best players, Ben Simmons and Joel Embiid, haven't played a single playoff game in their career. So that is going to hurt them, but at the same time, they do have veteran guys like JJ Redick, like Ersan Ilyasova, like Marco Bellinelli, guys who have been to the playoffs, made deep playoff pushes. So that should help them out. And I truly feel like they can beat anyone. Even more so now that Markelle Fultz is back and came back with just enough time left in the season to shake some of that rust off, get into a groove, find a rhythm with his teammates. When you add a player like him, a type of player they didn't have, it was like the missing piece of the puzzle, a guy who can create for himself from anywhere on the court and for others too. It just adds a whole different element to the Sixers as a team, because now when Ben Simmons isn't on the court being the playmaking genius that he is, you gotta deal with Markelle Fultz. And when they're both on the court together, I mean, what do you do? What on earth do you do? That's already going to be a problem for the rest of this season and the playoffs. Just imagine it next year and the year after that, the year after that. The further we go into the future, the scarier of a problem they become. And not to mention, if Ben Simmons ever adds a jumper, can ever score outside of the paint, it's a wrap. There will be no stopping it. They'll have a nearly 7-foot tall center who can do it all. They'll have an explosive guard, one of the most explosive guards in the NBA in Markelle Fultz, who can also set up his teammate. And then they'll have Joel Embiid, who is on pace to be one of the most dominant big men that the NBA has ever seen. On top of that, you'll still have glue guys like Dario Saric, who's actually a lot better than people give him credit for, and then Robert Covington as well. Both those guys are even capable of having big nights. All this being said though, all this hype, I don't want to get you guys hyped up to the point where you expect this type of performance out of Markelle Fultz every single night. It's not going to happen. I wouldn't be surprised if his next couple of games he might struggle a little bit, if his next few games aren't as good as the ones that he played yesterday. Because whenever a player comes back from a long injury like Markelle Fultz or has some reason to have some extra adrenaline, they play better than maybe they should have. We saw it with Isaiah Thomas in his first couple of games with the Cleveland Cavaliers when he looked amazing. But then after that, we all know what happened. So don't get too caught up in the hype where you expect this out of Markelle Fultz every single night, and then when he doesn't do it, you get disappointed. You're like, we were hyped up for nothing. The kid's gonna be great. That's the most important thing to take away from yesterday. We saw glimpses of what he is capable of doing in the NBA. Very small glimpses of the freaking massive future that he has. Moving on though, LiAngelo Ball just declared for the NBA draft, meaning that he will be leaving his little brother LaMelo in Lithuania all by himself. And of course, you know, LiAngelo is that brother, the one that people aren't too excited about, and a lot of NBA teams aren't as excited about as they were about Lonzo Ball, and maybe they will be about LaMelo Ball in the future. He isn't expected to be a first round pick, maybe not even an early second round pick, somewhere towards the middle or the end of the second round. But he is going to get drafted. There's no doubt in my mind that some team is going to take a chance on LiAngelo Ball. Which team is that? I don't know. According to Lavar Ball, he thinks it's going to be, of course, the Los Angeles Lakers. He thinks all three of his sons are going to be playing for the Los Angeles Lakers. And that is possible. It is possible that the Lakers take him in the second round. They don't have their own second round draft pick this year, but they do have a second round draft pick from the Denver Nuggets. And that pick is most likely going to be in the mid 40s. So LiAngelo Ball should still be there. And maybe they're like, you know what? It's a late 40s pick. Why not? Come on, LiAngelo. But as far as LiAngelo as a player, this is the biggest question because no one knows what kind of player he could be in the NBA. The dude is a 6'5" power forward. He has the height of a guard, but he doesn't have the quickness or build of an NBA guard. He has the build of a power forward. Man is built exactly like Lavar Ball or a football player or a refrigerator, meaning that he won't have the foot speed to keep up with the guards on the perimeter, so we can't really defend them. But does he have the height to be able to guard some power forwards? I mean, he's even undersized compared to Draymond Green, who is already an undersized power forward. Draymond Green has a couple of inches on LiAngelo Ball, so I just don't know how it's going to work out for him. I have no clue what type of play he's going to be in the NBA, but I am hoping for the best. And while we're on the topic of LiAngelo and the Ball, I guess I should mention this too. Lavar Ball is now going to be hosting tryouts for his JBA League. The Junior Basketball Association is now taking tryouts. Before he was trying to convince some of the top high school players that were going to college to come play for him instead of the NCAA. That didn't really work out too well. To my recollection, I don't think he got a single player to sign up for him. And that is why he released this video to Twitter yesterday.
Let's go. It's big time. Big ballers in the building again. The JBA is in effect. Go to jbaleague.com and register. Like I said before, you guys get to come down here and we come into 8 different cities to select 8 different guys from each city. And I'll tell you what, bring your A game because the selection committee is unreal. We got Ed O'Bannon, we got Earl Watson, and we got Lonzo Ball all on the selective committee. Let's get it done, and I'm out.
Hey, you know what? You gotta do what you gotta do. Man is on a mission and he is out here making moves. I can't hate on that. And this should help out the JBA in the future. He kind of swung for the fences with hoping that he would get some actual talent to come play from some of the nation's top high school recruits, come join his league instead of the NCAA. I don't think anyone can see that happening just yet, but he took a chance, it didn't work out, and now he's moving on. Phase 2, just starting the league, putting some teams together, getting some games going. And this is good because it gives it a chance, you know, it gets something going. In the future, maybe this becomes big enough where it attracts some other high school level talents that would be going to college but go to him instead, because all they need is that first player to make it from the JBA to the NBA. Once that happens, it'll all be uphill for the league from there. So of course, Kemba Walker didn't get traded this NBA trade deadline, despite despite the Charlotte Hornets saying that they would be accepting calls inquiring about trading for Kemba Walker. I guess none of the offers were good enough. And you guys remember what Kemba Walker said when he found out that he could possibly be traded, how hurt he was, and he kept saying he wanted to remain with the Charlotte Hornets, he doesn't want to be traded. Well, he still does want to remain with the Charlotte Hornets, but his desire to win, to be on a playoff team, is actually greater than his desire to be a Hornet for the rest of his life. As yesterday, Kemba Walker said that he is tired of losing and not making the playoffs. At this point, I want to win. I want to be in the playoffs. I'm tired of not being in the playoffs. I hate watching them on TV. I've been there twice in 7 years, and it's just not fun missing out. Hopefully, I'll be there for a long time. I've always felt like I'm a winning player, like I deserve to be in the playoffs, to be battling. That's what it'll all be about in the future. He then went on to say that his future in Charlotte largely depends on what their new GM that they're going to hire this summer plans on doing. Whenever we get a new GM, we'll see what direction he wants to go, and I'll make the best decision for me. I think once the Hornets do get a new GM, that Kemba Walker is gone. Him and everyone else on that team, to be honest with you, because the Hornets as a team, they're stuck. This is why we've been saying that they need to trade Kemba Walker for years now, because every single year it's more or less the same story, the same thing that happened, and it's going to keep being this way for the future. They're always going to be that team that's fighting to make the AC, trying their hardest to get in the playoffs, and maybe sometimes they'll get in or they'll barely miss out, and even if they do get in, they're getting limited in the first round. How long can that cycle really go on? How long do you want that to be your state in the NBA? And Kemba, if you want to make the playoffs on a consistent basis, if you want to feel like you're going to compete, then you gotta look other places. It's noble that you like Charlotte so much and want to be loyal to the organization, but let's keep it 100% real here. How on earth are you going to compete on the regular basis there? I don't know anything the Hornets can do to get better. They're not going to get any top tier free agents. They don't have any valuable trade assets outside of Kemba Walker, and they're not bad enough to get a top pick in the lottery to draft some amazing talent. Whoever the new GM is going to realize this. They're gonna come in and be like, this organization is a mess. Everyone gotta go. We're starting fresh, and that includes trading Kemba Walker because he is their most valuable piece. They can get a lot in return for Kemba Walker. That wraps up all the news, updates, discussion, all that other stuff from yesterday, but now let's take a quick look at the games and what happened in the games from yesterday. Well, at least Kemba Walker and the Hornets were able to get a win last night because the Knicks really looked like they were ready to take this game away from them. More specifically, Trey Burke looked like he was ready to take this game away from them. That dude can flat out ball. He's been playing to stay in the NBA ever since he signed with the Knicks earlier in the season, and he has proven that he should be playing in the NBA. And after yesterday's performance, there will be a lot of teams this summer calling him up about trying to get him to come play for them, and I'm just hoping that my Pistons are one of those teams. Yo, come home. Trey Burke, you played for University of Michigan. We all know that my Pistons were supposed to draft you. Let us make this thing right. Man had 42 points and 12 assists yesterday. The first Knick to post a stat line like that since Stephon Marbury, but still, you know, the Knicks lost 137 to 128 in overtime. Kemba Walker with 31 points and 7 assists. These are the types of losses right here that are just flat out unacceptable. Minnesota, I don't care if you don't have Jimmy Butler. You should not be losing to the freaking Memphis Grizzlies. At the same time though, Tom Thibodeau, you're gonna destroy your starters with how many minutes you're playing them. You don't use your bench at all outside of Jamal Crawford. I get that you don't have the best bench, but Andrew Wiggins, Jeff Teague, and Taj Gibson each playing 43 minutes isn't good for their future. They're gonna blow something. Their knees are about to be gone if you don't chill out. Luckily for the Wolves though, the Sixers were able to beat the Nuggets yesterday because Minnesota is still dangerously close to missing the playoffs without Jimmy Butler. 101 to 93, the final score. Gasol with 20 points, 10 rebounds, and 6 assists. LiAngelo Ball played really well. Wasn't taking a bunch of threes, only took one, and he actually made his only triple attempt. 7 of 8 from the field. 15 points, 11 assists, and 8 rebounds. He was playing amazing yesterday, but the Lakers still lost to the Pistons 112 to 106. The three-point shooting was the real difference in this game. Pistons made 13 threes, while LA only made 6. Andre Drummond hit some clutch free throws down the stretch as LA tried to do the whole hack-a-J thing, but it just didn't work out. He finished with 15 points and 18 rebounds. Jason Tatum, we haven't talked about this kid in a while, but he's going to be a star in the NBA. There's just no way that he isn't. It's just one of those things that everyone knows is going to happen. With Irving and Hayward out, the Celtics have been playing through him a lot more because, you know, why not? And he had 23 points and 6 rebounds in the Celtics 102-94 win over Phoenix. And I also think that Josh Jackson is going to be a star too. He has come a long way offensively from how he was at the beginning of the season. That's one of the benefits, probably the only benefit for playing for a team like Phoenix. You can get all the touches you want, making it much easier for him to develop his skills than rookies who don't have as much freedom. He also scored 23. That wraps up everything that went down in the NBA yesterday. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, be sure to smack that like button and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on more daily NBA news, discussions, highlights, everything. Also, thank you to everyone who came out and tried SportsQ, my app, yesterday. It was amazing. We almost had 700 people playing live and still in the early stages. That's awesome. And a handful of you guys even won some free cash, so that's really awesome too. Let's see if we can get that number to 1,000 live players tomorrow though. That's the next game. Let's hit 1K on SportsQ. Link is in the description box below. Anyways though, remember to vote for the player of the day, but also remember the only players whose team won are eligible to win player of the day. And yesterday, that player was LeBron James and his 37 points, 10 rebounds, and 8 assists. Thank you once again for watching. I'll see all of you right back here tomorrow. But until then, I am out of here. Peace.